Welcome to Short Cover Lit. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
What are we doing?
Variety Hour. We're doing Variety Hour.
You're damn right we are.
Yeah, I have no idea what number it is. I've given up keeping track now.
15?
But we're in the high teens of the second version of Variety Hour. The second season of Variety Hour. We'll call it seasons now. And still, to this day, everybody's favorite segment. People just enjoy listening to this.
Yeah, they don't want to hear our opinions on things.
Absolutely
they just want to hear
not.
us complain.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to put two people on camera and talk about their sufferings, woo! People love it.
Yeah, people eat that up.
They do. I've got my necklace off this week because apparently it was
Don't do that.
clicking on the mic all week last week and like
You
upset
fixed it,
some
so
people.
now you're just antagonizing.
Now I'm antagonizing, but I actually had a buddy who watched the video because like somebody even commented, "Stop that clicking." I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Click, 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 click. And then I got a buddy got a hold of me. He's like, "Hey, dumbass, your mic, your necklace keeps hitting the lapel."
Yeah.
I'm like, so I took it off. That's all I got this week, though.
That's all you got this week?
This is my improvement of the week. What has Adrian done this week? Anything spectacular?
I got a story.
I like stories.
Something that keeps happening to me. Something that happens to me periodically in life, and I don't understand it.
Okay.
So, one of the places that I go, a woman there started talking to me. I was like, okay, that's cool. She is a weird individual.
Okay.
I'm talking weird. I'm talking eyebrows drawn on with the wrong shade of Crayola level weird.
Okay.
Right? Like, I'm not judging. I'm just trying to paint the picture, right? I'm trying to put it on the full screen for you. Weirdo, just a weird person, and that's fine, right? I get along with weird. I get along with crazy. Figure maybe there's a friend there, right?
All right.
So, this was the individual that we went to that place, and I talked to this individual before we left, right?
Okay. I know who you're talking about then.
So that day was the last day she was working there.
Correct.
And every time she talked to me, it was like, I'm going through these big life changes, right?
Okay.
So like, here's my phone number, send me a text when you get everything figured out, right? What does that say? Send me a text when you get everything figured out.
Yeah, it seems like a kind enough gesture, maybe as somebody to talk to.
Someplace down the line.
Yeah. Maybe when I'm in a better spot.
When you're in a better spot, just let me know you need help moving or whatever it is you're doing, whatever. By the time we got back from that place, she had texted me. Then she had texted me saying, I wanted you to have my phone number too. Then she had texted me saying,
fair.
This is my last name in case you were wondering. I never even asked her last name,
Okay.
right? So, whatever, that's fine.
It seems fair, yeah.
Right. She proceeded to text message me, and like if I sent a text and she didn't respond for a while, which is life, right? She would apologize for it.
Okay.
Sorry, I was doing this. I don't care what you were doing. This is a text message. This is why no one's talking to you on the phone, right? Your reply does not have to be immediate.
Okay.
So the last text message she sends me is about her coworker. She has a pair of coworkers that have an infatuation with me.
Aw.
So I didn't know what to do with that, right? So I sent her a text message back that was like, I don't know, that's a weird, how do you respond to that? So I sort of muddled my way through it, whatever, didn't hear back from her. One of those coworkers has since started talking to me.
Okay.
Very friendly person. We get along. I don't remember how it came up, but in our conversation, that other individual came up. That other individual was apparently telling everyone she worked with that I would not leave her alone.
Okay.
That I was on that, right? That I really wanted me some her.
Okay.
Nothing could have been further from the truth. I've been with crazy as shit before. It's not happening again, right? But I thought, so one of the things about this area is there's a very fine line of weird, right?
Yeah.
Because you're either normal or crazy as shit. But that weird line is pretty narrow. I consider myself on that weird line.
Yeah.
But when you can get crazy as shit, you take it because there's not many on the weird line, right?
Okay.
But for her to be telling people that I wouldn't leave her alone, right? And this is something that happens to me. So I'm pretty sure she planted that seed of her coworkers having an infatuation with me to create a sense of drama there, right?
Okay. Possibly. Quite possibly.
I have no reason to believe it was true.
All right.
Especially from talking to this other individual, right? So after that, you then tell those coworkers that I won't leave you alone. What does that do? What is being necessitated there?
I don't know.
Exactly.
There's a similar situation that's actually happened in my life, and I'm going to tell you this story now. So Josh, my roommate, you know Josh. We've had a couple things Josh do on the channel for us before.
Neat.
We went to the bar one night, and we don't normally go out to the bars together, don't do anything. But this mutual friend of ours comes up, and he's like, "Hey, how you been, Josh?" Josh being Josh, I'm like, "Fine." "Well, I just heard, about, you and this girl, you kind of, going well, hitting things off." And Josh like, "Well, what the fuck are you talking about?" And then proceeds to tell us this tale that this woman who constantly frequents this bar has developed this huge, elaborate story of her and Josh together that she's been telling everyone she knows. So much so that she works at the bar part-time, and she's telling her boss that she's late because her and Josh are doing things together. She can't come in because her and Josh are going this place today. Josh has never spoke to her.
Josh lives in your attic.
Yeah, Josh lives in my attic.
You would know if it ever left.
This never happened. Josh has never spoke to this woman in his life. And she has developed this entire world around Josh. It's all Josh. At which point, being the antagonist, I am like, "Well, Josh, maybe you guys should go out. Just, make an honest woman out of her. Figure it out, see how it goes." He's like, "Absolutely not. No,
you can't do that at that point. You can't do that at that point. So, I say this kind of thing keeps happening to me. I've probably got 100 stories of this.
Yeah.
I've probably got 100 stories of this. I remember in high school, there was a girl and I'd say girl because we were young. I was dating a girl, and there was a girl that I had known since, I believe, early middle school. And this was the first time that my girlfriend and I had had lunch together, right?
Okay.
And this other girl walks past, and I go, "Hey," the friendly thing, and she doesn't look at me. So I was like, "What is up her ass?" And my girlfriend says, "Well, why don't you tell me?" So most guys in that situation, "Oh shit, she's mad. Drop it, things will be forgotten," right? Me, I am a social moron. So I said, "What do you mean, why don't you tell me?" Luckily I'm a social moron, because in this case, it turned out that she was telling people that I had said she could sleep with me if she wanted to. Huh. Now, what kind of brag is that even? Not that we slept together, not that we did things, but that I said we could.
I'm convinced that there are people who exist in this world where their whole, their shtick is just creating drama.
Yeah.
And that's all that gets them through the day. I mean, when you're at work, can't watch TV, can't watch your soaps, better make a soap here.
I hit a vortex of that one time. I hit a vortex of that, which, when two storms collide and they create a cyclone, I hit one of those.
Yeah.
So I was working with this guy who had met a woman that I was going to school with, was sort of on the fringes of a friend group of women, right? He was sort of in the fringes of that, and he really liked this woman who was in that group. I didn't know that. I thought they just hung out. I guess he was in love with her. Another woman in that group had an infatuation with me. I didn't know her, right? I had nothing to do with him. So the guy that I was working with came into my place of employment and told me about the other woman.
Okay.
Who had an infatuation with me. I didn't know her, right? Didn't mean anything to me. But she was kind of cute. Yeah. So I started talking to her.
Okay.
I didn't know that she and the guy I work with, that he really liked her. I don't know that it would have stopped me, but she wasn't particularly into him. That's why I always got the friend vibe off of him, right? Like they were out hanging out. So, she starts talking to me. So I'm like, all right, that's cool.
They have that 1960s like dating game where, you know, somebody sits on behind the curtain, doesn't get to see the potential dates, they just get to talk to them. I want to take you on that so bad. It would be phenomenal.
It would be awful.
Oh, yes.
But she starts talking to me. We start seeing each other. And then she gets a cold shoulder with me. And I'm like, what is going on? So, friend that I don't know is telling her that I'm texting friend that I don't know. Making it up, whole cloth. I don't even know. I didn't know her name.
Even outside the realms of relationships, people just continually insist on creating drama, especially like in a workplace. Like the last job I worked at, like I was totally known as the guy who's like, oh, he's just him. Does his weird thing, does not give two fucks. Just, he's a fun guy, but just, yeah, leave him alone. And like people would come up to me all the time, they're like, oh, I heard something about you. I'm like, well, that's probably fucking true now, isn't it? And that's how I would dismiss it.
Yeah.
Just move on. But it'd come up to me, it was about a 3-month process. People would just come up to me and be like, I thought you quit. I thought you did this. I thought you went off this grand adventure. This is what you're doing. I'm like, well, not that I know of.
Yeah.
Clearly I'm still here.
Yeah.
Please stop circling all this bullshit around me.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where I'd start, like, I did, like, specifically tell somebody something just to see how quick it would get around, and just develop these little faux scenarios around myself just to see how long it'd take for somebody came back to me.
And you figure out who's the one that's doing this thing.
You got to find that catalyst between everything.
Well, and the reason you have to do it is because someone makes that up. Someone takes some small thing you say. You're having a bad day, and you say something like, I got to get out of here, right? Everyone has those days. The minute that makes it back to the boss, you're in hot water, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know? So it's just, I can't stand those situations.
Yeah, it's part of life, I think. So I went to the Renaissance Festival this weekend. The Kansas City Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
I love the Renaissance Festival. I have since I was a kid.
Bet you do.
I go every single year. I've gone every year since I was like an itty-bitty kid.
Yeah.
It's a big part of my life. And Megan's the same way, so we had a grand time. Great time. Kansas City is actually one of the biggest Renaissance festivals in the United States.
I did know that.
Considered one of the best as well. The only one bigger, I believe, is in Texas. It's the original Renaissance Festival in the United States. But anyway, we went. We've got a friend who performs there as Robin Hood, so we get to go see him. We get to go do some fun stuff. Thought it was going to be great. Turns out it was 105 in the shade. And allergy season in the middle of a wooded area that's just been hauled down to dust. Oh my God. She's still dead. At this very moment, she is still asleep on the couch trying to recover from her allergies. Yeah. But had a great time. I've always enjoyed it, and like one of these days I'm going to drag you with me. I've got tickets.
It's a bad idea.
Why?
Because I don't do those things.
Why not? It's fun. It's entertaining.
So when you say your friend plays Robin Hood,
yes.
What does this mean? Not in a play?
It's a performance. There are 3 performances a day.
Okay, because from what I understand, there's people that walk around sort of in performance too. The moment your friend comes up to me in green tights, he does not exist anymore.
Yeah. He does, like, I think it's 3 to 4 performances a day, scheduled time. It's like a little 20-minute show. They perform a show, a play, if you would. This year, however, is like the 25th anniversary of the Robin Hood show. So he is now part of the main cast, who does have to walk around and greet people and do all this good jazz. So yeah, you do get those people. I went one year, I was in costume, and somebody came up to me and like, can you give me directions to this? I'm like, I don't fucking work here.
Yeah.
Move along.
That happens to me a lot because I dress like this.
Yeah.
So if I go to any place, they think I work there, so I always just give them an answer. Oh, it's in aisle 5. It'll be on the bottom shelf on the left.
By this same excuse, people come up to me all the time, like, where can I buy drugs? I'm like,
in aisle 5 on the bottom shelf.
I don't know. I've told you, I was at a casino one night, and this guy came up to me just like out of his mind, and he's like, you know where I can get a little bit of something? I'm like, no. I don't, sir.
That's when you sell him pocket lint for $25.
At that point, I think I should have, but I'm like, my God, is this the look that I'm going for now?
Not the look you're going for, but the look that you deserve.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So yeah, we did that yesterday. Had a great time. The day before that, I had my annual fantasy football draft, where I continued to prove that I know absolutely nothing about fantasy football.
No one wants to hear about your fantasy football team.
But somehow I get lucky. I get lucky every year, and this is my year.
If by lucky you mean you probably surround yourself with people that know even less about football than you do. Is that how it works?
Actually, no. It's terrifying. And like,
so you're dealing with prognosticators.
So at one point we're drafting, and like somebody who knows football says something about this one guy, and Josh chimes in. He's like, "Oh, this guy, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Josh, shut the hell up! You've never seen a game of football." Fun fact: I guess he's been doing his research because he knows a lot about football now and a lot about the current players. Yeah. I don't. I'm just like, oh, this guy could be a gamble. Patrick Mahomes is my starting quarterback. Better give that a shot. See how that works out. Yeah. So yeah, I had a great time. Good. Been a good weekend. Went back to school for the first time this week.
Yeah, how was that?
Intense. After the first day, like wholeheartedly, I came home. I immediately made myself a drink and sat down. I'm like, I don't know what I've gotten myself into. I even texted Adrian at the point. I'm like, okay, you get one, but you may have been right.
Yeah. But I haven't used it yet.
It was a very intensive, like I show up and I'm the only grad school student. Everyone in there had previously taken this professor's introduction to language class, language awareness. I had not. And everyone has, the next year, signed up for the history of language, history of English. I haven't taken these classes in 8 years. And like at the point I even sat down, I'm like, hey, at the end of class, I'm like, I'm a little apprehensive towards all this. Because like when I took this 8 years ago with this professor, it was very different. And she's like, oh, well, she was a great person. She wasn't a linguist. This is going to be very different for you. I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to die now. I'm just like stuttering through the phonetic alphabet, like what I could memorize before class. I'm like, my God, man, I don't remember mention of this in the last time I took either language awareness or this class that I previously already taken.
Right.
But anyway, then she assigns us a super difficult language philosophy question. Like one with no answer that's going to force you to do like think and do research. I get the point. But I get home and I'm staring at it and I'm like, oh, I genuinely don't know what to say. I'm such at a loss here. Second day went back, it was better. A lot better. I'm excited. I've got a research project that I'm doing all semester. But that first day, it gave me a good kick.
I was wholeheartedly hoping this story would go something like this. So after class, I went up to her and I was like, hey, the last time I took this course, it really wasn't this way. I don't remember any of that. And she said, hey, you know where I can get some drugs?
Yes. Yes. But no, it seems like it's going to be okay. Going to be an exciting thing. I've started that new series, Back to School with Dalton, that I'm sure a couple people may have caught the first episode of. So I'm going to try to go over what we're learning, share that with some other people, maybe what my research project's going, how it's going. But I don't know. I like linguistics. I do. I like the idea of translating Old English into modern English, things like that. But when you get the heavy gist of linguistics all thrown at you once, after you haven't thought about it in 10 years, it was a little overwhelming.
So now that you're in a linguistics class, will you stop saying especially?
No, probably not.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And
now that you know the phonetic alphabet, will you stop saying especially?
No, probably not.
Oh.
And I will still continue to mispronounce words and make them up on my own free will. But yeah, it's going to be...
I will continue to make up words on my own free and cadatum.
For cadatum. But anyway, it's going to be an interesting adventure. I'm not sure where we're going with it. I was given a text that I've read through once already. I'm going to have to read again. But it was a lecture from a very highly acclaimed linguist who lectured at Harvard. And it went over my head.
You don't remember the name?
No, I don't actually. I want to say Calvin. Something Calvin.
Oh, I don't know then.
I believe he just recently passed away, so this is a very modern text, very recent. But it was a lecture that he gave.
The author is just dead, so it's very recent.
Well, when you're talking about the history of language
in general, yeah.
But it's I can't remember the title of it either off the top of my head. But I gave it a good read through, and
what was it about?
Tried to digest a little bit of it. And it's dense, man.
Yeah.
It's dense. And I think it's dense purposely because, like, our second paper is a essay talking about it just to see if we could grasp it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, when we had that class as undergrads, do you remember much about it?
I do.
We had to do that. Wasn't it twice a week we were doing that? It was a once-a-week class, I think, but we were doing it, I'm pretty sure it was a once-a-week class.
I think it may have been twice a week, but I could have been wrong. But it was very different. We were talking more about the acquisition of language, the etymology behind things, where this is like the heavy linguistics and how language has developed and changed at very specific periods in time. So it's got me on the ropes as of right now. I'm still not sure how to take it, but hopefully it'll get a lot better. We'll see. Beyond that, it's been a pretty easy week. It's been nice.
What was it like returning to campus? Because you're going to the same place for grad school that you went for your bachelor's.
You know when you have that moment, and it's like when you're like 25 or 26 and you go to the bar and you look around and you're like, what the hell are all these kids doing here? How dare they be in this bar? Very similar to that.
Yeah.
Like, I walk in and, like, for the first time in my life, I feel old. And I'm like, oh, God, here we go.
Yeah.
One of these students came in because there's only like 8 or 9 people in the class because it's upper level English. And one of the students came in and even, like, brought up the point. He's like, I thought I was in the wrong class because, like, I know everybody who's, like, at this level in the English department. I'm like, who the hell's this guy? I'm like, oh, well, I'm fucking old. So that's why. Haven't done this in a hot minute.
Yeah.
But it's been a different experience. I haven't had a chance to reconnect with any of my old professors, so I think that will be equally as fun.
Yeah.
But things never change. People are still running around in pure chaos. I had a woman come up to me just losing her mind. She's like, where is this hall? Where's Eder Hall? And I'm like, okay, calm down. Literally take a step.
Aisle 5.
Take a step outside that door, and you're there.
Yeah.
You're literally beelining towards it. Calm down.
Yeah.
First day of college student. But I don't know, it's okay so far. I'm really excited in a couple weeks when they do the student loan disbursement and half the campus leaves. So I can find parking again.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
So this is not my one time saying I told you so.
Okay.
This is not that.
All right.
This is not me letting you know that I told you so. Okay?
Carry on.
I still have that in my back pocket.
You're
that
keeping
I
it.
get to why are you fidgeting with your necklace so
You ever have like prayer beads for a Catholic?
yeah.
Like when things are getting bad, they have to touch the prayer beads?
You're going to want those in a second.
Okay.
You remember how I was always the old guy?
You were always the old guy.
Remember how much shit you gave me for being the old guy?
I know. It's coming back.
Hold on a minute, Dalton. You are starting your grad degree at about the same time I started mine.
I know. I'm the old guy.
You're the old guy.
I'm the old guy.
You were starting your grad degree at about the same age I started mine.
Yep.
The difference is, I wasted 5 years and toiled away in community college before I went off to university. You did it after university.
Yep. Gonna be an interesting ride.
Gonna be are you tearing up?
No, am I?
A little bit.
I'm so sorry.
Looks like it. Well, just say it's allergies.
It's allergies. Please stop talking about it.
You've wasted your life.
But it really, I feel I am the Adrian of the class now because, like, I walked in and I sat in the second row by myself. They're all sitting up front talking about it, wearing Missouri Western t-shirts and, shorts. I'm dressed for work because I just left work. And Jesus Christ, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
You're Adrian.
I'm the Adrian. However, somebody did the second day brought in their Shakespeare book because they're taking Shakespeare. Like, it gets exciting. It's like, oh, I know things about Shakespeare. I actually know what I'm talking about for once. I have experience in this field that I can use to my advantage. But I did get to talk to the professor a little bit after class, and she's like, oh, so what have you been doing, in between undergrad and stuff? I'm like, oh, I worked at a prison, pay the bills. She's like, oh, you were teaching at a prison? I'm like, no, I've done nothing with my degree. And people keep asking, so what are you getting your degree? And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. So it's being an undergrad all over again.
Yeah, well, in different circumstance now, because I'm not sure if I want to stay at this college. I would have to go and settle for a degree in written communication, which has more practical application. but I could transfer to somewhere in Kansas City and continue with a degree in literature. Very simply. So I'm not sure what I want to do at this point yet. I mean, I kind of figured I'd wait it out this year, see if that written communication would feel right. Otherwise, I'd probably end up at a UMKC.
Yeah.
We'll see. I even went as far to look at their doctorate program.
Yeah.
Just,
UMKCs?
Yep.
How's that?
Interdisciplinary doctorate, which I think is very interesting. Not only would you have your doctorate in English, but you would have your doctorate as well in a second category, such as history or something like that.
Weird.
It is very weird. And
what does the study look like? Do you remember?
I don't remember the study exactly, but I did look in like the dissertation and like the defense of your dissertation. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. However, I am convinced in, 2 to 20 years when I finish my master's degree, I'm going to sit down and be like, Adrian, let's go back to school.
It would be interesting. So I take this stuff very seriously, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I revel in this stuff. I love the application of knowledge. I love the acquirement of knowledge, things like that. I still hate the school setting a little bit.
Okay.
Because it is, we must kill the butterfly in order that we dissect it.
Okay.
Right? And it's always, so you're still always getting something through someone else's paradigm.
This is true. I do, and we've argued about this off camera quite a bit. I do think you need to consider looking at a doctorate. You're very qualified to have one. And I think it would be a good career step for you. I would like you to hold off so I can like ride on your your skirt in the back there and like.
Well, I was actually thinking about coming up to your classes and sitting in the third row.
Oh.
Just behind you.
Do you think I bet she'd let you if you like reached out to her and be like, hey, can I audit this class? I'm thinking about going to a doctorate. I just want to audit this class. You know how nervous that would make me? I don't like talking in a classroom setting. I don't understand it. I can perform on a stage. I can do this, no problem. I can talk to anyone. You put me in a classroom setting,
hate it.
I don't like to talk.
You hate it.
It is so ingrained into me that like you will remain silent in class and listen to the professor. Like it drives me insane to speak. So naturally the second day...
Even when you have presentations too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I dread them.
Yeah.
So the second day we have a presentation too. And like I'm rolling in there, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't. And the first presentation goes by and I'm like, nope, I'm fine. This is fine.
Yeah.
I feel much better about myself. Yeah. So it is nice going in with a little background.
What do you mean background?
Like having that undergraduate degree and like knowing what I'm talking about and knowing that I'm putting forth, I would say, considerably more effort this time around.
I would argue if you sit, the next time you have something like this due.
Thursday.
If you sit and you really think about it, you really assess what's going on in your mind and in your body, the part that's helping you is not your undergrad degree.
Okay.
It's the 5 years of work experience you have between.
You think so?
Because when you worked in the prison, what might happen to you?
Oh, you got to go up and got to deal with this. You got to deal with a group of people.
What might happen to you?
Oh, I might get stabbed.
You might not make it home.
Fair.
When you're talking in front of a group of people, well, these 19-year-olds, okay, that's fine.
They may shame me.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I've already been shamed. But anyway, that's Variety Hour.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
You want to end us out here?
Hit like if for no other reason than to publicly announce that you enjoy the embarrassment of Dalton and myself. Hit subscribe if this is the type of thing that you enjoy doing. And if you would like to help us create more content here on Strip Coverlet, there's a link to our Patreon, as always, to be found in the description below.
Okay. Let's get some uploading done so we can tackle that last video.